Hello, it's Mark here with Nordheide Hustle. I'm going to just go through a few boxes. It's getting late in the afternoon, which means the sun is going down and I'm losing natural light. I just want to do a few boxes to put on the beginning of a video. Immediately after, I want to do a little review of how things have run so far, how much money I've made versus what I've invested, what kind of things have sold, what kind of things have not. What good experiences I've had, what bad experiences I've had, and I'm going to do that. But first, I want to do a few boxes. Here we have a box in a crate. So let's see what this is. It looks like, it looks like a weather station of some kind. Like with wind direction and everything. My guess is that it doesn't work. Almost all of the weather stations that I've tested so far, and I over 100 have had in here. I haven't tested them all, but almost all of them don't work in some respect, which is very sad for me because they seem like they're mostly new in the box, customer returns, so that someone pulled it out, it didn't work right, they returned it, but it looks brand new, and most of the functionality is good. Most of them are radio weather stations, so they receive like the weather forecast for your area automatically over radio signal. But for instance, in most of those, the outside temperature sender doesn't work, or the receiver doesn't work for that sender. So much functionality, but since even a new perfect one is only like 20 or 30 euros, who's gonna buy a customer return that has less functionality? No one. So my guess is, I will test it, but my guess is this is gonna just be scrap. Let's see, what do we have here? I knew something was wrong. I don't have my reading glasses on. Without those, I don't know what I'm looking at. This is also some sort of weather station. And we'll see, this one, oh yeah, it has been retaped, it looks like. So yeah, it's a smaller weather station, more compact, again with an outside sensor. And we'll see if this sender and the receiver work, then maybe I can sell it for something at the next garage sale. Here is a box of nails. 6 millimeter by 60 millimeter, so 6 centimeter long nails. Here is another box of nails that is falling apart. So framing nails. Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten quite a few. In fact, right underneath this is a box of nails. I'll just add it to that. It's been sort of my platform because it's so heavy I don't want to move it. So I'll add those to that. Here it looks like another one of those little vertical weather stations. Again, I will have to test it, see if it works. Then there's a little blue basket that has a bunch of batteries. I've had mixed luck with the batteries that I've gotten in this garage. Some of them work perfectly fine. In fact, I just went back through a box of manicure, UV manicure kits, like gel nail manicure kits, whatever they, and they all came with 4 AA batteries, and I opened them up and the AA batteries work just fine. So there are some odd sized batteries. I have no idea what these little babies are. What are they called? 27A. So a 27A battery. And then a lot of, well, that'd be great if these were 2032s. The little cell batteries. I have a lot of things that I test that require those. So that would be awesome. I do have a little multimeter from the garage find that I use to test all my batteries now, which makes it really easy to know if they're functional or not. So you move the nails to the side. I have a number 7. I have a 0. And I have an 8. We have another crate somewhere here of house numbers. I will just need to add that to the house number crate so that they're not here on their own. This is, looks like a belt or a strap for something, but I do not know what. I'll have to figure that out. Or, you know, I could just scrap it, but, oh, that's interesting. What is this wacky thing? Okay, so this has a cable on it. Oh, maybe this is not associated with this. Or maybe it is. This is pink and black neoprene case, and inside is some sort of tool. I will have to look that up. And then there, yeah, anybody, any idea? I have no idea. But I will have to look it up and see if it's somehow associated with what looks just to be a piece of sheath cable. But that is it. And a plastic nuts and bolts sorting box. So that's not a lot, but it's not a lot of garbage. And a few mystery items. Precarious with that weather station. I think I'll put these back in here. Put this over here. Set this aside. And get another box. Looks like another box of electrical customer returns. Here is a 2-pack of wall switches. I don't know, maybe in-wall timers. I don't know if those work. Here it just looks to be a speaker, a tiny little tweeter or subwoofer. I don't know what that is. Not a speaker guy. Here is a SATA computer thing. I don't think I'm gonna sell many of those. This is the case. Is it actually in there? I don't. Oh, a CPU fan. So, so like an angle installer for a CPU fan. Again, all these CPU things, these computer things. This looks just like a CD case, nylon CD case. Here is a charging cable of some kind. Car charger. Oh, so a car charger with a certain size. But yeah, that would be, who knows what phone that's for. Again, a car charger. Looks like a hands-free device. Yeah, portable hands-free. Just a battery pack for something. Seriously. Yeah, an adjustable plug for laptops or whatever. Another car charger for something. Yeah, not the best stuff in here. Here's a tiny little box that has a little readout. I've got a number of these little readouts, gauge readouts and that's what this must be as well. If you're building your own machines or replacing a readout on a certain machine. And then there is this Speaker Connect, a video splitter with amplifier. So let's see, what's it say? I still have to test, somebody wrote on here. So it's a customer return that originally was $35.95. Hasn't been tested. I don't really have the speaker equipment to test it all. We'll see. Oh, and there's a crying cat. Hey, Flash. Oh. This is Flash. He's my buddy. Hi, Flash. What you doing, buddy? You ready to go inside and have dinner? Okay, one more box. One more box, buddy. One more box. That's a heavy one. More hardware. Okay, there's another one of these, which is a beam connector. And then it looks like, and I've already had a whole box of these things before. So the retractable sunshades, like built-in sunshades in Europe that they use. The old ones had this nylon strap that you would pull them up and then let them back down. And they would be kept in these little housings. And so that's what that is. Like here you can, here's the strap right here. Looks like someone took off their old one. This would run through the wall into the thing, and yeah. There's some more So things for hooking beams together. I have a box of these. I listed them. I have like 40 plus of these and now 3 of these. And I listed what I had existing for 50 euros. And they go now new, like a set of these costs like 10 euros. And I just thought, hey, somebody might want them. Not so far. Not so far. So let me put these back. Put those with the rest of them. And here are some door stoppers, a door handle and pole, another, and then a bunch of different pulleys and other things. Oh, here's just a lock. So just for the door. Actually, it doesn't have a key though, so which would probably make it difficult to use or sell. The key is missing. But yeah, some more door stops, more handles and hardware for doors, a couple of what are these, cabinet fronts or something, something for doors, I guess. Maybe if you're covering up where you used to have a lock and now it's just going to be free. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like a lot of accessories for doors and windows. And they still do sell these things online, but yeah, I don't know who's going to buy them used. Here's some door hinge parts. And it looks like a brass door handle. Sort of triangular. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the hardware, but we'll see the first time I do a garage sale if any of this stuff sells. I'll have a lot of work, obviously, to organize it. But again, a lot of this stuff, the only way I'm going to sell it online is if I sell it as a lot. And I sell 20 pieces for 20 euros, and someone might be willing to pay shipping and get those and then either use them or resell them. But so far, no luck. Oh, look, here's some keys. I'm not sure if these random keys will go to a random lock or how that works, but all right. So I'm not going to stop here because I'm going to go inside and I'm going to get on my laptop and I'm going to get some statistics ready, and we're going to go through what I've sold so far, what I've spent, what I've earned, and what kind of issues I've had and what's gone smoothly. So we'll shift inside and get into that. All right, we've moved inside and now I'm gonna go ahead and basically line by line, item by item, just sort of give you an overview of what I've sold and any details about sort of difficult transactions or issues that I came across that for me as a new reseller were interesting and created a little bit of stress, but I was able to overcome them. So we'll go ahead and look right at my laptop here. Okay, so you see here, I just use Excel. It's very basic. I'll probably improve upon what I'm doing. But the big number here is right down there. So far, up to now, I have netted 1,876 euros and 69 cents. The bigger numbers to the right are inventory numbers. Total inventory, including sold, is that 3,354. And then remaining listed inventory. And that's just a rough number because not everything that I've listed is in this database. I just at some point started listing or entering things that I listed, which are the ones with all the blanks in the middle. Those are listed items that have not sold. Anything with sale price here, those are the ones that have sold online. And so what I'd like to do is go over some of the 1,876 here with you. We'll start back up alphabetically and go through some of these things. So yeah, and you can see the mix I have here. Kleinanzeiger, that's eBay Classifieds is what it was called. It's basically like the marketplace for pickup only is where I use that just for people to pick up here at the house. And so I sold a couple of items there. Yeah, a couple of repeat items, like you can see 175 Flechtbänder. Those are little, what would you call them? I guess weaving bands for kids, usually for girls, to make keychains or anything, just multicolored plastic rope, basically. Sold a couple of those. I have hundreds of them, so I sold basically 5 packs. That's 175 of those for $12.95. I paid shipping on those, so you see here I entered in shipping costs. The great thing here is if you see E is sales fees. In Germany, eBay does not charge fees to private sellers. So as long as I'm selling privately and don't become a business, and now that I'm still just doing it as a hobby for fun starting out, I don't pay any sales fees. So that definitely saves me a lot of money this first year. Eventually, I will have to transition, I imagine, to being a business, depending on how successful this is. But as we go down here, we can see like one surprise for me are these aqua laser filters. And if you've been watching the videos, I had, I think, 3 large boxes of just loose purple filters that I had to figure out what they were for. And they're for a specific steam mop. And I just thought, oh, I'm going to have to scrap these and pay to get rid of them. And so far, I've made 116 euros and 55 cents selling those. So I couldn't find them online for sale anywhere, so I couldn't come up with a price. Amazon has them listed, but out of stock with no price. And so I just put a price there and decided to sell them as a 3-pack because figuring selling one wouldn't really be beneficial with all the shipping costs. But yeah, it's worked. It has worked. So I'm surprised every time one of those comes across. You can see there's some Clout Fantasy. Those are the fantasy chips. I've sold a couple of those booster boxes for different prices. One, and it's the only item so far I've paid a sales fee for of $2.31, was the buyer was actually in Austria and not in Germany. And that was one of the issues I had, is I didn't realize, because I had it set up just to sell domestically in Germany. And he had shown interest. I sent an offer through eBay, and he accepted the offer, but then didn't pay. And so I was waiting, and about 24 hours later, I was like, well, I guess I'll send him an invoice. So I went ahead and sent him an invoice plus the shipping cost that is set for that item to ship within Germany. And he paid the invoice and then supplied his address and was in Austria. So you can see there, even though he was supposed to pay shipping, I had to pay an additional $8.30 in shipping and pay a $2.31 sales fee, because in Austria, apparently you do have to pay the sales fee. So that was a surprise, but I still sold it. Even net was about the same as you see in H as the 1 pack that I sold when somebody offered me $29.95 plus shipping. And so I wasn't feeling too bad about that. I was thinking about, should I cancel it and say this wasn't supposed to go to Austria? But I have, I think, 8 more of these, and they're not selling quickly. So to net 29 euros off of that, that's a great deal. So, I mean, that was just 1 box out of the entire warehouse that contained those booster boxes. And so I've already made, 59 euros off that 1 box. So, and plenty of those left over. So as you go down, again, a lot of blanks. Those are things that are listed but haven't sold. The girl's bike that I had in the very beginning sold to a neighbor for 50 euros. I probably could have gotten more selling it on Marketplace, but it's a friend of ours and her daughter needed a bike. It was a kid's bike, so I was happy to have her take that for a little bit less. Moving down here, you have some things. The IMAX slide scanner. So it was a slide and negative scanner that I actually sold 2 of them. I was very happy with it. The second one, however, the person contacted me and said, it doesn't work. I had tested them by plugging them in and turning them on and seeing, okay, they go on, perfect, they work. I didn't have any slides or negatives lying around the house to test on. So I just said, well, I guess it works. The problem with this one is that the scanner element did not work. So it wouldn't show an image. I was fortunate that I had a 3rd one listed. And so what I did is I said, well, how about I just pay to ship this other one to you? And I went ahead and tested it. I put an old bus ticket in there instead of negatives or a slide, and could see, okay, yeah, scanner works. And they were happy with me paying the shipping on my own to send that out. And so I went ahead and did that. In fact, I don't think I reflected that. I need to put that in here that I paid shipping, because that will take away from my net. I'm going to change that. I'll do that right after this. The mannequin head I also sold to the same neighbor as the bike for 10 euros. Sold a mini oven for pickup. Here you have the miscellaneous books. Momox buys books online, and if you get up to a certain amount, you can send them in free of charge, so you don't pay shipping, and then they sort through them. And if they want everything to be in good condition. So if they determine something is soiled or damaged, then they don't give you credit for it. So you have to send in at least 10 euros in value, but if your credit goes below 10 euros, they don't charge you shipping, which is nice. But yeah, that first one, 3537, it's actually the first one date-wise, it's just not in order here. That was the first time I scanned through all the books and the DVDs that I had gotten in the unit, in the warehouse, and moved into my garage. And so there were quite a few that they took. And I basically go through once a month, maybe twice a month even, and pull things out, and that they are willing to take that time. Some of them that are really small are where I didn't have many books from the garage that they accepted, but I had a lot of books, family books, that we were getting rid of as well. Myself, my wife, my son. And so that portion, obviously, I didn't put into here, only the portion that accounted for books from the garage. Sold a number of Nintendo DS cases that were new. Sold out of those very quickly. I only had 3. So one that was still in packaging, and the other 2 that were in packaging, but the packaging was stained or torn. And so I just took them out, and they were in mint condition, perfect, and sold them all, and got good feedback from those people as well. Some vacuum bags that just sold this week, actually. They've been listed on there since the very first round of listings, sort of like vintage vacuum bags. And I just sold one, so that's nice as well. Now you come down to the big category here, and you can see that Philips Coolskin section here that we're coming up to. And I have just made so much money so far off of those Philips Coolskin gel packs and the razors themselves that do not have chargers, but I've been selling them for parts or could possibly work. Most of the buyers have said, yeah, they work flawlessly. In fact, the first entry up there that's sort of, is just 130. That's someone who purchased one of the razors and then purchased 4 more. And just, I discussed it with them via eBay, and then went ahead and just put up a blank listing with no photos, let them know that they could make that purchase, and they purchased all 4 of those 130, and they said all 4 of those worked as well. I think they're a reseller as well, and they had said they had extra charging stations, so they were able to charge them up and sell them with charging stations. But for me, I was thrilled because all of these, some of the Coolskin packs came from the new boxes I uncovered, but all of the razors on the bottom, those 130 worth, and most of the Coolskin packs all came from one large box that was in the back of that warehouse that is now nearly empty in my garage. But we're looking at that 689 euros and 96 cents net after any shipping or fees on just that one box of razors. So I'm really hoping we get near that number again for the razors with chargers. They're a 6,000 series. These were 7,000 series, but they have chargers. I have them listed, have some interest, but I haven't yet sold one, but I'm looking forward. They've only been on a few weeks to getting those numbers in here, because that'll be nice. Then as you go down, you see Playboy t-shirts. I sold a number of those early on. There's quite a few still listed and they haven't sold. So I think everyone who wanted one got one really early on, and now they're just sort of sitting there. But about 64 euros out of Playboy t-shirts, which was great. I did not know how to price those. So I just sort of took a swing and put a price on there at $24.95, and they all have sold for less than that on an offer. So, which I was happy with as well. So Moving down, you have I had a stack of original Sony PlayStation Portable, Sony PSP cables. I think I had about 8 of them. And so far I've sold 4. So I've made about 85 euros on that. So it is just little by little coming together. And then there's enough random stuff. So the bottom here is just random electronics that I tested. There's a VHS-C converter. Some trucker caps, of which I have several hundred, I think. I sold 10 of those for $19.95. But it's just been a mixed bag. And even today, I just got an order for that's ready to ship tomorrow for a baby monitor, Philips baby monitor. I have a huge box of Philips baby monitors. It was one of the first electronic things that I started testing. And a number of them did not charge because they were rechargeable batteries. This one works on AA batteries, and it worked just fine. So, but it's been listed since October, and it just sold today. So, and every little purchase gets that number right there, that 1876 number, closer to, I'm going to switch over now to my expenses. And you can see that I paid $2,500 for the product at the warehouse. I rented a van that for 2 days, that was 156 euros and 20 cents. I fueled the van before I returned it. The 24 euros there for dump fees, that was stuff I dumped directly from the warehouse. Sorry, went off accidentally. That 24 euros was something that I dumped, stuff that I dumped directly from the warehouse. Didn't even bother bringing it back here because it was either soiled or moldy or something was wrong with it, or just there were a lot of empty boxes and empty stuff, and so broken things, and I just didn't bring those home. But other than that, you can see I haven't spent a lot of money. Packing tape, I've had to buy some packing tape, but one of the things that was in the unit, if you watch the early videos, is a huge box filled with wrapping paper, of which a lot of it was rolls of packing paper, just brown packing paper. And I've been burning through that, which is just great because that's a big money saver. I would have had to buy packing materials. And I haven't had to buy any boxes yet. I have one friend of ours that they order a lot, and he's been bringing boxes by every month. And then every time I go to the grocery store, I'm collecting empty boxes that I think are the size that I might need for shipping things. And so far, I have not had to buy any boxes for shipping all the stuff that I've shipped. So that's great. But yeah, I need to get to that number, 27, 25, 77, and that number will grow, unfortunately. Luckily, it will grow much more slowly than the other number. So I am anticipating, my hope still is by the end of March, 6 months, to surpass that number and have more net income than I have expenses on this purchase. So that will give me the justification to maybe look for something else to buy and resell. If I don't, then it will have been a really fun adventure, and I will have had basically a free hobby for 6 months if I can make that target of mine. So, well, I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit of insight into what I've sold and some interesting purchases, things that maybe didn't go as well as I thought, or things that maybe surprised me. In the end, I'm happy with how this is running. The only disappointing part is that I'm running out of new boxes to open. But I'm holding off. I haven't opened a new box in a couple of days. Well, okay, except for the few that I opened today before, just to add to this video. But other than that, I haven't done a major unboxing for a while. And I probably will jump into that again soon, though, and just burn through the rest of my boxes and figure I'm going to have to focus on selling after that. But again, any of you that are watching those unboxing videos, thank you. If you want to get more updates on what I'm unboxing, definitely subscribe. Or if you want more insights into what I'm doing as a new reseller, someone who's just getting into this. This is the first time I've purchased something for resale. Well, not true. Not true. It's the first time I've purchased something with the idea of reselling consistently. I did more than 10 years ago. I bought in bulk leather pistol holsters from the German police. They had an online government auction, and I bought, I can't even remember how many they were, but I think it was like 30 or 40 holsters. And it was really cheap. So I think I paid less than €2 a piece in the end. I sold some here, brought some back to the US because Americans have a lot of guns, and they sold really well. And I had a stack that I just uncovered, and this is more than 12 years ago maybe that I did this. Just uncovered at my parents' house where I stay when I'm in the US, and I handed them over to my sister and wrote an eBay listing on her eBay, and she's already sold 4 of them. So I think for an average of about $22 a piece. So that is still paying off 12 years later. But this is a different scale. 2,500 purchased warehouse contents, and step-by-step unboxing, testing, cleaning, listing, and hopefully selling until I get to the point where I've made money instead of spent money. And I think that's definitely the goal for all the people that are out there reselling, is to make some money. So if you're trying to do it, good luck. I hope you can manage to get that done as well. It's a fun hobby regardless, but if you can make some money off of it, you can definitely justify it to everybody all the time you spend, as I'm doing. So thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.